What if I told you that just 60 years ago, the place where the world's tallest building now pierces the clouds was nothing more than sand dunes and a narrow creek where fishermen cast their nets? What if I revealed that a city that today generates over 339 billion dirhams in GDP in just 9 months started with 800 nomadic tribe members who had nothing but vision and determination? Here's the shocking truth that will blow your mind. Dubai's entire modern economy was built on oil money like everyone believes. In fact, less than 1% of Dubai's current GDP comes from oil. This trillion-dollar transformation happened through something far more extraordinary, and the strategy they used could rewrite everything you think you know about building wealth and power from literally nothing. If you've ever wondered how a city can seemingly materialize from desert sand and become more influential than nations with centuries of history, you're not alone. Most people look at Dubai's glittering skyline, its artificial islands and record-breaking architecture, and think this was all oil money luck. They couldn't be more wrong. The real story of Dubai isn't just about transformation. It's about strategic vision so bold it defied every conventional rule of economics and geography. Today, we're going beyond the surface-level myths to uncover the precise steps, the calculated gambles, and the revolutionary decisions that turned 800 people living by a creek into the beating heart of a trillion-dollar economy that now rivals nations. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how Dubai cracked the code of exponential growth and why their blueprint is being studied by cities and countries worldwide. This isn't just history, it's a masterclass in turning impossible dreams into billion-dollar reality. Our story doesn't begin in the 1960s, like most people think. It starts in 1833, when something extraordinary happened along the Persian Gulf. Sheikh Maktoum bin Butti, leading 800 members of the Bani Yas Confederation, didn't just settle randomly by Dubai Creek. They chose this location for a reason that would prove prophetic. This narrow waterway was nature's gift, a natural harbor perfectly positioned between India, Persia, and East Africa. Think about this strategically. While other settlements focus purely on survival, these founders were already thinking like global traders. They weren't just fishermen and pearl divers. They were building the Middle East's first logistics hub. The Al Maktoum dynasty they established wasn't just claiming territory. They were positioning themselves at the crossroads of 3 continents. The location wasn't chosen by accident. Archaeological evidence shows settlements in this area dating back to 3000 BC during the Bronze Age. By the 5th to 7th centuries AD, Dubai had already become a prominent trade route linking Oman to what is now Iraq. The people here made their living through fishing, pearling, and boat building, but more importantly, they understood the value of connectivity. The trade routes gained fame, attracting Portuguese and European traders who recognized the strategic importance of this small settlement. Walking through the old streets today, contrasting sharply with the modern skyscrapers and record-breaking wonders, visitors can witness the simplicity and history that bring Dubai to life. Understanding Dubai's origins is essential for grasping its growth, as the city has managed to maintain much of its original character despite the rapid development around it. By the late 1800s, something remarkable was happening. While the rest of the region remained isolated, Dubai was already becoming cosmopolitan. Persian merchants were establishing the Bastakia Quarter, one of the oldest neighborhoods in Dubai, constructed in the 19th century by the Iranian community drawn to the emirate through trade along Dubai Creek. Indian traders were setting up businesses. British merchant ships were making regular stops. This wasn't accident, this was strategic economic planning that was 100 years ahead of its time. The Bastakia Quarter today brims with history and tradition, its distinctive wind towers and narrow alleys telling the story of a community that understood the power of cultural diversity in driving economic growth. Here's what's fascinating. The pearling industry at its peak employed 80% of the local population, but the leaders never put all their eggs in one basket. They understood diversification before it was even a business term. Pearling crews, often led by a Naham or captain, worked sunrise to sunset, their hulls shipped to Bombay and Paris. At its peak, this industry generated enormous wealth, but the leaders were smart enough to invest this wealth in better port facilities, stronger trade relationships, and more sophisticated logistics. British envoys brokered peace along the coast, signing the 1820 General Maritime Treaty that birthed the Trucial States, a coalition including Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Ports like Dera buzzed with dhows, carrying spices, textiles, and gold. Sailors from India and East Africa mingled here, blending traditions that still flavor the city today. When the pearl trade generated wealth, they invested it strategically. By 1900, Dubai's souks buzzed with an incredible variety of goods. This re-export magic turned Dubai into Asia's backdoor to Europe. The city's position along the Persian Gulf made it an ideal trade and transit hub, and its visionary leaders recognized the potential to diversify the economy beyond what anyone else was doing in the region. Even Sheikh Zayed, who would later become the architect of the UAE Federation, mirrored these strategies when uniting the Arab Emirates. The psychology here was crucial. While other settlements thought locally, Dubai's leaders thought globally from the very beginning. Fast forward to the 1950s, and here's where the real genius begins. Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum looked at Dubai Creek and saw a problem that was killing their growth potential. The water was too shallow for larger ships, trade was being constrained by geography. What he did next was either visionary brilliance or economic suicide, and no one knew which at the time. Between 1959 and 1961, Sheikh Rashid ordered the creek to be dredged and widened. But here's the kicker. Dubai didn't have the money for this massive infrastructure project. They financed it through loans and customs duties, essentially betting their entire economic future on this one gamble. Imagine the pressure. If this failed, Dubai would be bankrupt. But Sheikh Rashid understood something that modern businesses still struggle with. You have to spend money to make money, and sometimes you have to risk everything to gain everything. The dredging project was massive in scope, involving international contractors and cutting-edge engineering for the time. Local skeptics called it madness, but Sheikh Rashid had a vision that extended far beyond the immediate costs and risks. He could see that without this infrastructure improvement, Dubai would forever remain a small regional port, unable to compete with larger, deeper harbors in neighboring countries. The gamble paid off spectacularly. Larger ships could now dock. Re-export trade exploded. Suddenly, Dubai wasn't just a local port, it was becoming a regional distribution center. This single decision to dredge the creek generated more wealth than the previous century of pearl diving. Ships that previously couldn't enter Dubai's waters now made it a regular stop. The economic multiplier effect was immediate and dramatic. More ships meant more trade meant more jobs meant more residents, and more residents meant more demand for services and goods. This created a virtuous cycle of growth that would become Dubai's signature strategy. Make bold infrastructure investments that create the foundation for exponential expansion. The success of the creek dredging project established a pattern that Dubai would follow for decades. Identify infrastructure bottlenecks, invest boldly to eliminate them, and reap the exponential benefits of increased capacity. This wasn't just about moving water and sand. It was about moving Dubai from the periphery to the center of regional commerce. The project also demonstrated something crucial about Dubai's leadership philosophy. They were willing to bet everything on their vision of the future, even when that future seemed impossible to others. In 1966, oil was discovered in Dubai waters. First exports sailed in 1969. Now, here's where most rulers would have gotten comfortable, built palaces, and enjoyed the windfall. Sheikh Rashid did something completely different that changed everything. He took the oil revenue and immediately reinvested it into infrastructure that would outlast the oil. Roads, schools, Port Rashid, airports, every dirham was strategically placed to build long-term economic capacity. Why? Because Sheikh Rashid feared the oil would run out within decades. This wasn't just investment, this was survival planning. The oil discovery could have been Dubai's downfall, creating the same resource curse that affected so many other oil-rich regions. Instead, Sheikh Rashid turned it into a launching pad for diversification. He understood that oil was a temporary advantage, not a permanent solution. While neighboring regions used oil wealth to fund consumption and luxury, Dubai used it to fund transformation. The revenue went into building Dubai International Airport, expanding port facilities, constructing road networks, and establishing educational institutions. Every project was chosen not for its immediate returns, but for its long-term strategic value. But the masterstroke came in 1971 when Dubai joined 6 neighbors to form the United Arab Emirates. This wasn't just political union, this was economic leverage. Suddenly, Dubai had federal support, political stability, and access to larger markets. They transformed from a city-state into a strategic partner in a federation. The psychology here is crucial. While other oil-rich regions became dependent on petroleum exports, Dubai was using oil money to build the infrastructure for a post-oil economy. They were playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. The formation of the UAE was a geopolitical masterstroke that provided Dubai with something invaluable: legitimacy and security on the international stage. As part of a recognized nation-state, Dubai could negotiate international agreements, join global organizations, and attract foreign investment with the backing of federal guarantees. This political stability became a crucial competitive advantage in attracting international businesses and investors who needed assurance that their investments would be protected by stable governance and rule of law. In 1979, Dubai opened Port Jebel Ali. Today, it's the world's largest man-made harbor with 67 berths, but back then, it seemed like massive overkill. Why build such enormous capacity when current trade didn't require it? The answer reveals Dubai's strategic brilliance. They weren't building for current demand. They were building for future opportunity. The port construction was an engineering marvel, involving the excavation of millions of cubic meters of sand and the construction of massive breakwaters to protect the harbor from the rough seas of the Persian Gulf. And in 1985, they created something revolutionary around this port, the Jebel Ali Free Zone, offering 100% foreign ownership and zero corporate tax. This was economic warfare, but not against countries, against inefficiency. While other regions burdened businesses with bureaucracy and taxes, Dubai eliminated friction. The result? Today, JAFZA hosts 11,000 firms and handled 713 billion dirhams in non-oil trade in 2024 alone. That's not just success, that's economic transformation on a scale most countries never achieve. Think about the psychology of this decision. They were essentially saying to the world, come here, keep all your profits, own your business completely, and use our world-class infrastructure. It was a value proposition so compelling it was almost irresistible. The free zone concept was revolutionary for its time, challenging conventional wisdom about taxation and foreign ownership. Most countries imposed heavy restrictions on foreign businesses, requiring local partners and imposing significant tax burdens. Dubai did the opposite, creating an environment where international companies could operate with complete freedom and maximum efficiency. The success of JAFZA created a template that Dubai would replicate across multiple sectors. They established specialized free zones for media, technology, healthcare, financial services, and numerous other industries. Each zone was designed with the specific needs of its target industry in mind, providing not just tax benefits, but also industry-specific infrastructure, regulatory frameworks, and support services. This wasn't just about attracting businesses. It was about creating entire ecosystems where related companies could cluster, collaborate, and create synergies that benefited everyone. Also in 1985, Dubai launched Emirates Airline with just $10 million. Today, it's the Middle East's largest carrier. But here's what's extraordinary. They didn't just start an airline. They reimagined air travel economics. While other airlines served their home markets, Emirates was designed from day one to connect the world through Dubai. They turned geographical disadvantage, being in the middle of nowhere, into competitive advantage, being in the middle of everywhere. Dubai's location, roughly equidistant from Europe, Asia, and Africa, meant that almost any long-haul journey could be routed through Dubai with minimal deviation from the direct path. Emirates wasn't just an airline. It was a strategic tool for economic development. Every new route Emirates opened created new possibilities for trade, tourism, and investment. The airline became Dubai's ambassador to the world, showcasing the city's ambitions and capabilities to millions of passengers who passed through Dubai International Airport. The luxury and service quality of Emirates flights became synonymous with Dubai brand of excellence, creating powerful marketing effects that extended far beyond aviation. Dubai International Airport processed a record 92.3 million passengers in 2024, making it the world's busiest for international travel. But this wasn't luck. This was the result of decades of strategic expansion, treating the airport not as infrastructure, but as economic engine. The airport expansion was carefully coordinated with Emirates' route development, creating a virtuous cycle where more routes justified more airport capacity, which enabled even more routes. The airport became a massive economic hub in its own right, employing hundreds of thousands of people and generating billions in economic activity. The genius of the aviation strategy is how it multiplied every other investment. The free zones became more attractive because of easy international access. The ports became more valuable because of air cargo connectivity. Tourism became possible because of airline accessibility. Everything was interconnected and mutually reinforcing. This systems thinking approach, where every major investment was designed to enhance the value of every other investment, became the hallmark of Dubai's development strategy. Now comes the part that everyone remembers, but most people misunderstand. The Burj Al Arab in 1999, Palm Jumeirah starting in 2001, and the 828-meter Burj Khalifa opening January 4, 2010. These weren't just buildings, they were marketing campaigns built in steel and concrete. Here's the strategic thinking. In a world of infinite choice, attention is the most valuable currency. Dubai realized they needed to create something so extraordinary, so impossible to ignore, that the entire world would notice. These mega projects weren't expenses, they were investments in global brand recognition. The Burj Al Arab wasn't just a hotel, it was a statement about Dubai's ambitions. Designed to be the world's most luxurious hotel, it put Dubai on the map as a destination for ultra-high-net-worth individuals. Every detail, from its sail-shaped silhouette to its gold-plated interior, was designed to generate media attention and word-of-mouth marketing. The hotel became one of the most photographed buildings in the world, appearing in countless movies, advertisements, and travel documentaries. This global exposure was worth far more than the construction cost. Palm Jumeirah was even more ambitious, a massive land reclamation project that created an artificial island in the shape of a palm tree. The engineering challenges were immense, requiring the movement of 120 million cubic meters of sand and rock. But the psychological impact was even greater. The project demonstrated that Dubai could literally reshape geography itself, creating new land where none existed before. This wasn't just real estate development. It was a demonstration of technological capability and unlimited ambition that captured the world's imagination. But there was deeper strategy here. The 2002 Freehold Property Decree allowed foreigners to buy real estate. This triggered a building boom that created entire new economy sectors. Suddenly, Dubai wasn't just selling tourism or trade services. They were selling lifestyle, status, and dreams. Wealthy individuals from around the world could now own a piece of Dubai, giving them a personal stake in the city's success. This created a global network of Dubai advocates who had financial incentives to promote the city's attractions and opportunities. In 2004, the Dubai International Financial Centre opened under English common law rules. This wasn't just a business district. This was Dubai positioning itself as the financial bridge between East and West, offering Western legal systems in an Eastern location. The DIFC was designed to attract international financial institutions that wanted to serve Middle Eastern and African markets, but needed the legal certainty and regulatory frameworks they were familiar with from London or New York. This hybrid approach, combining Eastern location with Western systems, became another example of Dubai's ability to create unique value propositions. The Burj Khalifa represented the culmination of this strategy. At 828 meters, it wasn't just the world's tallest building. It was a vertical city that demonstrated Dubai mastery of complex engineering and project management. The tower's mixed-use design, combining offices, residences, hotels, and retail space, created a complete urban ecosystem in a single structure. The global media attention surrounding its construction and opening generated billions of dollars worth of free publicity for Dubai. Today, Dubai's GDP reached 339.4 billion dirhams in just the first 9 months of 2024, representing 1% growth year over year. But here's what's remarkable. The wider urban economy, including trade through Jafza, assets managed in DIFC, tourist spending and sovereign investments, circulates value well above the trillion-dollar mark annually. The current sector breakdown tells the story of successful diversification. Wholesale and retail trade represents 25% of GDP, transportation and storage, 4%, financial services 6%, manufacturing 8%, and real estate 8%. Oil less than 1%. This isn't just economic diversification, this is economic evolution. Recent statistics show Dubai welcomed 3 million international visitors in the first half of 2024 alone, generating growth of 9%. The city added over 30,000 new businesses and nearly 100,000 new residents in the past 12 months. This isn't just growth. This is magnetic attraction of global talent and capital. The tourism sector has become a massive economic engine, with hotel revenues exceeding 6 billion dirhams and hotel occupancy rates averaging 83%. These numbers represent not just economic success, but social transformation, as Dubai has become a global melting pot where people from over 200 nationalities live and work together. The Dubai 2040 Urban Master Plan aims to double green space and grow the population to 8 million. Plans are underway to shift long-haul traffic to an expanded Al Maktoum International Airport. But this isn't just expansion. This is Dubai preparing for the next phase of transformation, Current mega projects for 2024-2025 include Dubai Creek Tower, set to become the world's tallest structure, and developments like Ciel Dubai and the Loop, a 93-kilometer climate-controlled urban highway. These aren't just construction projects. They're statements about Dubai's commitment to maintaining its position as the world's most ambitious city. The sustainability focus in the 2040 plan represents Dubai's recognition that future success requires environmental responsibility. By 2050, Dubai aims to get almost half of its energy from renewable sources. Projects like the Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Solar Park, one of the world's largest solar installations, demonstrate how Dubai is applying the same bold thinking to environmental challenges that it previously applied to economic development. Here's the revelation that changes everything you thought you knew about Dubai's success. This wasn't a lucky oil boom story. This was the world's most successful example of strategic economic evolution executed over 200 years. Every decision, from dredging the creek in 1959 to launching Emirates in 1985 to building the Burj Khalifa, was part of a coherent long-term strategy that most countries still don't understand. Dubai didn't stumble into success. They engineered it through 4 key principles that most leaders never grasp. First, reinvestment over consumption. Every windfall was immediately reinvested in future capacity. While other oil-rich regions used petroleum wealth to fund lavish consumption, Dubai invested in infrastructure, education, and capacity building. This principle of delayed gratification and strategic reinvestment created compound growth effects that multiplied over decades. Second, infrastructure before demand. They built for tomorrow's opportunities, not today's needs. From the creek dredging to Port Jebel Ali to the oversized airports, Dubai consistently invested in capacity that seemed excessive at the time, but proved perfectly sized for future growth. This forward-thinking approach allowed them to capture opportunities that other cities missed because they lacked the infrastructure to handle rapid scaling. Third, elimination of friction. They removed every possible barrier between opportunity and execution. Free zones, simplified regulations, world-class infrastructure, and efficient government services all served the same purpose, making it as easy as possible for businesses and individuals to achieve their goals in Dubai. This obsession with efficiency and ease of doing business became a competitive advantage that attracted global talent and capital. Fourth, attention as strategy. They understood that in a global economy, being noticed is the first step to being chosen. The mega projects, world records, and architectural marvels weren't vanity projects. They were strategic investments in global brand recognition. In an age of information overload, Dubai mastered the art of cutting through the noise and capturing attention. The most shocking part, Dubai's transformation from 800 people to a trillion-dollar economy happened faster than most companies scale from startup to IPO. They compressed centuries of urban development into decades through pure strategic acceleration. This acceleration was possible because they learned from the successes and failures of other cities, adopted best practices from around the world, and executed with a sense of urgency that most governments lack. If this deep dive into Dubai's strategic genius has opened your eyes to what's possible when vision meets execution, then you're ready to unlock more secrets that most people never discover. Dubai's story isn't just history. It's a blueprint for understanding how exponential transformation really works in our modern world. The lessons from Dubai's transformation apply far beyond urban planning and economic development. They offer insights into how any organization, community, or individual can achieve extraordinary results through strategic thinking, bold investment, and relentless execution. Subscribe to Dubai Curious and comment Strategy Unlocked. below if you're ready to explore more incredible stories of vision, strategy, and transformation that most people never hear about. We're just getting started on revealing the extraordinary secrets behind this remarkable city. In our next video, we're diving into the specific strategies Dubai uses to attract the world's wealthiest individuals and most innovative companies. Tactics so effective they're reshaping global business geography. You won't want to miss how a desert city became more attractive than London, New York, or Tokyo for certain types of ventures. Hit that notification bell because we're about to reveal the precise methods Dubai uses to stay ahead of cities with centuries more history and resources. This is your invitation to understand the strategies that turn impossible dreams into trillion-dollar realities.